just as a little highlight for you guys, we're going to take a brief look at the Bengal. It's the first.
And welcome back to another edition of Star Citizen here on To Games. This is Al, and I've got three very important tidbits of information that I'm sure you've probably seen on other channels, but I'm going to put my commentary into it unlike no other that is on YouTube. The Bengal carrier being the first topic I would like to discuss. The Bengal carrier being very large and looking as more and more flushed out as time goes past. I was very happy to see this on Around the Verse. Congratulations for the 100th episode. I was very excited when I had my 100th. You should be too. There's a Retaliator coming right up out of the bottom of this Bengal carrier. It's very exciting to see the graphics as massive and large inside is this Bengal carrier, as you can only imagine what it would be to actually own one of these, and to have people inside flying with you to launch fighters out of this would just be like fantastic. And who would want to have that experience? I think there should be a rare type ship already being offered to those who have pledged massive amounts of money within the game. Possibly you will see more as time goes on. I hope that they make this very unattainable for the average Star Citizen player, because I don't want to see a conga line of these in the game. I think they'll implement the Bengal carrier in Squadron 42, and you're not really going to see it in the online Star Citizen verse until much later. I think Squadron 42 would be a great buffer for people saying, hey, where's the game? Here's Squadron 42, play the game, and now you've got Star Citizen coming, a year or so later, maybe 2018, 2017, sometime thereabouts. Squadron 42 being flushed out with all the missions, your Bengal carrier. Amazing design. Again, designers telling us that this ship should be finished within the next 3 months with all the moving parts and pieces. Very memory intensive. Very memory intensive. So I got a lot of little glimmer of hope out of this, because you have a lot of people that are saying, this game's really just kind of flopping, and I don't even come close to agreeing with that. When I see something like this, it makes me very excited about the game. Like I said, Star Citizen is a labor of love. You really have to have the patience in order to appreciate this game. If they're going to offer all aspects and give us that imagined trailer that we can be everything that we want to be, obviously this is one of those aspects. Look at that, just light up there, getting ready for ships to launch out. That is just phenomenal. I love to look at that. That just makes me all types of excited. And if that doesn't make you excited, I don't know what planet you're on. This is the first type of asset in a game that functions like this ever in a game, and they're making it a reality. That's why I love SIG. That's why I love what Star Citizen promises us, and really I see it delivering. So again, bravo to those people designing the Bengal carrier. There's 7 artists on it right now. Keep doing a great job. I hope they have not such a difficult time with the memory issues. And moving on to the next topic, something I personally like, the new Grim Hex area that's going to be introduced on Crusader, and it's more of a pirate kind of haven. I am going to be a little bit more Yar myself. This is granting itself more to that type of faction. One thing that I would like to mention is that this is going to have like a PvP area, or at least it sounds as if it's going to have like a PvP area separate from a safe zone area. So you'll be able to have like a port. It's like a Port Alisar for Yard types. You'll have like an area that I would imagine would be PvP free. You go around and shop. Very seedy. Love the art. Love the ambience. Supposedly this is some type of station that was eventually taken over by pirates. They moved in, and a whole bunch of Yar from there on, and it kind of gives you that chaos element that I love in a game. And hopefully there won't be PvP areas that you just walk into and you get you just get mobbed because they're waiting at spawn points. That would not be fun. I would not like that in regards to playing a game that I want it to be different. I don't want to walk into a meat grinder, I turn a corner, and I get shredded like Swiss cheese. Nobody likes this in a game. So we gotta be very careful about how we design Hex. We're talking to one of the designers here, who tells us basically that he spent a lot of time with the sound in it. I did appreciate it. I love the ambient sounds as well as the lighting in Hex. And I think overall, the faction is going to play a huge part within Star Citizen as far as where you can go. The storyline itself continues to roll on regardless of what you do in the verse. So you will fall into like niches of areas where you're going to be safe, whether you're good or bad, and where you're going to have, an issue trying to be at, so whether good or bad, there's going to be some areas where you're not going to be able to get into. And I would imagine that the clothing and the items in the NPC shops will change from place to place depending upon the area because of the element that is there, the environment that's there. And again, I really do enjoy the fact that they made Grim Hex very large. And when I watched this, I said to myself, well, that's good. They didn't make this like a cozy little pirate cove, like where you grab a little rum drink and say, well, there you go, pirates, and put us out. They actually, this is not just for pirates. This is for freelancers. Could be for a little bit more, what I want to say, shady entrepreneurs that are dabbling maybe in, contraband, stuff like this, which you don't hear a lot of people talking about. But I would hope that, the economy gears itself towards more of the negative faction standing. And when I say negative, I'm not saying it as a negative connotation. I'm just saying that, you'll have a negative faction standing, so you will be considered an outlaw. So I would hope that items can be geared towards outlaws, and that items can be geared towards citizens. And I just hope that it's not to the point where if you are kind of like a goody two-shoes carrier, you won't be able to come here and enjoy yourself and have a good time. Yar, come here, have a good time at Hex. No, no. I'll be civil, I promise. But I kind of, that's the one thing about the faction that I kind of get a little bit worried about, like, okay, you have this faction, so you can't go here, 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 and here, and here. And I understand that's a very real, a very good aspect to the game, but I just don't want to go overboard to the point where, like, half the map or more than half the map is, you're banned from because of faction, and the designers only did 75% of areas that are designed towards good faction, 25% of areas that are for bad faction. And it's like, oh great, like you didn't put enough thought and process into designing enough places for me. But the good thing is that I see that they actually are doing this, and that it has a really cool element to the design. So all in all, I would say they're doing a pretty good job, and I'm happy that there is more places out there. They're going to have a hell of a time designing all these places, and I think they're going to just have to employ so many artists, graphic designers, just to populate the verse. This is the biggest problem that I see going forward, actually. I've talked about the economy and survival and aspects to the game that really need to be put into the game so that it stays immersive. But now we're talking about actual physical art, physical look everywhere you go. And with as big as the verse is, as many systems as there are, as many planets that you can land on or stations that you can go to, this is going to be a huge issue where you're going to have a lot of work that needs to be done in the design stage, and it's now. And I feel like that's where they're hitting right now. And Six saying, you know what? We got to stop focusing on ships so much. I feel the gears starting to shift. Yeah, they're having concept ships, but you notice the concept ships are actually slowing down, and that they're kind of pushing more like about the places and the areas, and I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that. I hope this pattern continues, because they have to do it now. Squadron 42 being separated from Star Citizen was a great idea, because Squadron 42 should come out as the buffer. Star Citizen will come out afterwards, and Squadron 42 should satiate most of us until we're like, all right, enough. Where's Star Citizen? I want an MMO time. And in order for them to have the time to create Star Citizen the way that we all want it to be, the amazing MMO that's going to kill every other game out there, they have to put tons of design into this game. Because we're talking about right now only having one system with a very few limited places to go, and look how long it's taken to get to this point. And we've got a team of 7 people on one ship, a Bengal carrier. Imagine the money it's taking. Imagine the money that it's taking to actually create not only just the ships, but now on a monumental task of creating places think about the number of systems. It's just going to be ridiculous. And that moves us on to our next and last topic, which is what I really was happy about, very, very happy about, was the updated map system that this team is actually going to implement into the game, where they're taking the old style ARC map that we were all accustomed to within the HTML browser, and they're going to stuff it into the game, and they're going to put it into like and they gave it a really cool look. I'm really happy that they gave it kind of like this three-dimensional look. It's not 2D anymore, it's not flat anymore, but it was also cool to see the pictures that you're watching with me, where you can see these maps being implemented on different types of ships, different types of display panels. You can actually do everything on them as you do on the ARC map, as far as, you know, looking at what systems are negative faction rating, positive faction rating, vandal space, all your different types of races, and then as well as putting in a system where you can actually set a destination point, the routing, which again, I think is a phenomenal feat. These guys are doing a great job. I loved watching this part. It's probably my favorite part of the verse, and I don't think people understand how difficult this is actually going to be to take this and to put it in the game and to put it on multiple different displays. Now, they also show something there which shows a little bit of economy, which got me excited. So the panel will show more than just, it looks as if it will show a little bit more than just the map itself. It looks like kind of like this Mobi-Glass Plus, if I should be so bold. And also the picture there showed something really interesting as far as the mapping that they did. They're showing the grid work, or the framework that is the basics of where you're pushing. And the SOS signal button, also very cool, relating back to our survival video. You should really watch that. It's causing quite the buzz. But these are great features within the game, and I'm very happy to see them. And I'm glad I could explain them to you and condense it down. Enjoy your day, and I will see you on the next Star Citizen video.